Brain Candy Podcast.
Oh.
You're not going to believe it, but it's episode 899.
Ah! One away from 900.
Holy heck.
Which is only 101 away from 1,000. If my math is right.
Let's keep doing that. It's only 1,001 away from...
You're right. From 2,000.
899, which reminds me, we were super stoked because Lincoln's lacrosse number this year is 99.
Oh my God, how lucky. And
He had to
if we
settle
remember,
for 98 last year. Because
that is the name of his sheep.
yeah, we are 99 enthusiasts over here.
Yes.
So it's a lucky number. So hopefully this isn't a pile of dog shit.
I love the story of how he came up with that name. tell the listeners.
Well, we bought 99 and he was 1 and some change. He was just a little guy, Lincoln. And we were just saying, like, can you believe that was only $2.99? And so then Lincoln thought that was his name. But he must have, like, not known about the 2. He must have just caught the tail
Right, he just heard
end of
99. Can you believe that was $2.99? Like, 2
Right.
has another meaning, and he just heard
Yeah.
99.
And then
And I can see that little 1-year-old brain going, oh, yeah.
Oh, 99
That
forevermore.
is just the most precious thing in the whole entire world to me.
It's such a
Goddamn.
good name for a sheep, too, because, you know, the biblical story about the 99 and the one that was lost.
I was going to say just like counting sheep. That's
In the Bible, there's a parable about the shepherd. He has 100 sheep and he loses 1. So he has 99.
And he looks for
and
just
he
that
goes
one,
and
right?
looks. Yeah. And, like, that's supposed to be comforting, I guess, because, like,
It's
if
like
you're the
you're
one that's
important.
lost.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what
I
about those
find
other
comfort in
nice
that.
guys?
Well,
Well,
the
I'm one of the
99 are chilling with
99
the
that's, like,
flock.
doing the right thing all the time.
Yeah, but you're chilling with the flock. If you were the one that was lost, then you'd be the one.
But is it lost or, like, aimless? Okay.
or just wandering? And
Yeah,
there's always
I've
that
had it
one
with
sheep,
those
like,
guys.
get over here.
Good.
Have you seen the video of the sheepdogs that sort the cattle by color?
No.
Oh, there's these 2 sheepdogs, and they separate the cows black and white, and they like are so
Why,
good
though?
at herding
That seems
they
like
can do.
Racist.
I don't think the dogs are. I think the dogs are going, I'm going to put this group together and this group together. And they
Yeah,
are good
that's
at
what
it.
Hitler
Those border
said.
collies. Oh, God.
I'm just joking. God.
Way to ruin
All
something
right.
lovely,
You know what?
Susie.
$8.99 is going to be a banger, everybody.
Yeah, we're off
I've
to a
been
good start.
disappointed in my performance past few times. I'm not going to let that happen again. We have already got a Hitler reference. You're welcome.
We're bringing it.
No,
over
I
here on the
haven't
Brain
seen
Candy
that
podcast.
clip, Sarah.
It's very cute.
But why are they doing that?
Just because they're
What's good
sheep
about it?
herding dogs.
Yeah.
They're sheep. Maybe they're sheep, and they're just like
And
they're herding dogs, and they just recognize a
They're
group when they
organized.
see it, and they're like, "Oh, well, let's sort this. Let's sort
I
these guys."
mean-
But the ways that they do it, like those dogs, that is in their nature. I love it. I love watching.
It does
that.
feel like propaganda, though. It could be used, put in the wrong hands. I'm just saying, it could put in the wrong hands. Okay. Suze, get a hold of yourself. You got a whole show to do. All right, Sarah.
Yeah.
Let's start off with a real humdinger.
Oh, I love a humdinger. Just the word alone.
Can a clitoris be trained to read Braille?
What? I'm going to say absolutely yes.
Absolutely yes.
That is you have the most nerve endings there. I mean, I could tell you the change in the temperature of 0.5 degrees.
For sure.
Like, I mean, that is a
I
sensitive
think I have like
part.
bonus nerve endings.
Yeah, you're
I don't
a highly
like it.
sensitive person.
Ugh, it's brutal. It's too much. It's too much.
Too much. Yeah, you gotta
But
be
it
so
could
relaxed.
read Braille.
That
Here's
is
how I
tell
know.
me. Tell me all about this.
Okay.
Who was like, wait a sec.
So the glands.
I'm more interested in the position that you would have to get in over the book.
Yeah, it would take a lot. It would take a lot of effort. Way more than the finger, for sure. Than finger blasting some Braille. God. Okay, get a hold of it. All right.
is the best quote ever.
Okay. So the tip of the clitoris is really what we're interested in. And that is called the glans, Glans. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's what the part that's exposed is called.
Once again, we're learning about our own bodies.
I know.
At over 40. Okay.
Yeah, that was never revealed to me. But the glans part of the clitoris is the part that's exposed. And so somebody on Blue Sky, which is the Twitter alternative, posed the question, could a clitoris read Braille, and maybe even faster because it has 10,000 nerve endings compared to the 3,000 of a finger. And you know how like when you see someone reading Braille, there's usually like more than one finger involved. It's almost like they got several fingers going on, and they're thinking maybe one clitoris could do the job of like 3 fingers.
I want to know if this question was asked by a member of the blind community or just inquisitive minds.
Good question. I don't know who it was asked by, but I do know who it was answered by, and that is the geniuses at the Vagina Museum.
Oh, once again, these gals, I assume are gals, are coming through.
I mean, and being hilarious about it, but also informative.
I love
like
this.
Us.
That is what we're aiming for here, people. That is
Maybe
the best.
The Vagina Museum would like to sponsor.
Maybe they
their
would like
sisters
to come on the show or like have us there as guests. And
oh my God, it's in the UK. We could do that on your 40th trip.
Yes,
we're doing a world tour.
Yeah, and for the body, our theme is the human body.
Okay,
Next
well,
up,
they have a lot
Vagina
to teach
Museum.
Us. For real, because they informed us all about like what can be done. So the funniest part about the Vagina Museum's response was that they began by saying like, there are a few problems with the clitoris reading Braille. First and foremost, you'd be so turned on. And
well, okay. There's like a that for me, maybe this is an overshare, but whatevs, is like a little friend that is not going to come out unless there is
coaxing
and the environment is right.
Really, Sarah?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's always hiding.
She's hidden in there.
Oh, bless her heart.
Oh yeah, she's
maybe
in
that's
there.
the difference between me and you. Like
I know
maybe my glands is always like
I know it. I'm learning a whole bunch about women's
Are
bodies.
you serious?
And
tell me.
I know. Well,
don't make me have to become a lesbian to find out.
One of the things that I noticed with myself is that, and this is what I've been working on at pelvic floor therapy. This is what the doctors told me about after I had my surgery and even before when they went in there and felt everything that was going on. I have been tensing up, almost like doing a Kegel my whole life.
Oh my God.
Like
you must be in great shape down there.
Well, my doctor also said there's a difference between strong and strained. And that I have been tensing these muscles for so long that now they've like strained to
they're giving up.
They're like locked. And it's very hard to get that relaxed to like for that to become like exposed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I have a very wonderful.
Is this because you were with men?
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit of it. I think a lot. Same. I think it might. It feels to me like a response from sexual trauma.
Okay.
That I'm like squeezing, like
totally
tightening up, and I can't open up and relax. So that's what I have to work on. And
oh my God! All right.
So I have like an outie, but also an innie.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is the job for you then, because I mean, really, they were saying that part of the problem with reading Braille with your clitoris, as if that's a thing, is that, you know, like the clitoris is so sensitive and the skin on it is so thin.
Yeah.
And special. Oh.
Ow.
They didn't even mention a paper cut potential.
Well, I'm assuming we're reading a book.
They did mention how bumpy the paper is and how the paper is sort of designed to be a bit rough. It's a thicker paper.
This does not sound nice.
That's right. That's what they were
soft
saying.
lady parts.
They were saying basically like you could do it, but you probably don't want to.
That's good advice with anything outside of the standard use of that body part.
Do you know that it said normally people quote the statistic or whatever, like the fun fact that
I know what you're going to say.
Clitoris. Oh,
has
what?
This many more nerve endings than the head of a penis?
No, they were saying that.
I thought I had a good guess with that one.
Well, kind of like in the same category that people often think the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings when it has actually 10,000.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason that has been perpetuated is because initially the clitori that were being studied were cow clitori.
No. And oh no. And they just extended the findings to human female.
They were like, that's probably true for ladies
okay. Too. Okay, then let's just take out a cow's dick and use that as comparison for yours.
It's unthinkable.
Unthinkable.
That is so
absolutely
maddening.
insane, Susie. I'm upset now.
It was cow clitoris.
Oh,
got
what did
8,000.
the ladies of the Vagina Museum have to say about that, man?
They were very measured about it. They were just like, just so you know. And I'm like, fuck you, Bonnie Bell. Like, we got 10,000, bitch.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I love I can't, her name's Jessica. I can't remember her last name, but
Valenti?
Her father is a gynecologist, and she went in to, she got advice from a like plastic surgeon or somebody in that field that she should have a labia reduction surgery, and in the process lost functioning and feeling, and now has gone on this. It has like made it her personal mission to educate people, especially doctors, on what a clitoris actually is and the organs that are what's actually going on there. And she has changed multiple medical books. We're talking, this was just a couple of years ago. I think I talked about it on the podcast. But they didn't even have updated medical diagrams of this in 2023.
It's infuriating.
Infuriating.
Yeah. This would never happen with
never in a million years.
the peen.
All they want to do is explore that thing.
For real. Like Viagra.
Right.
I mean, those guys couldn't have gotten that medical research like passed faster through the FDA.
Oy. Like, who cares about the symptoms? Let's just make our dicks hard. Meanwhile, we're over here like,
please don't.
Can you? Yeah, that too.
At any rate, you'll be happy to know, maybe not, that your clitoris could read Braille theoretically, but you probably don't want to.
But you probably don't want to. Yeah. That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Moving on. I'll tell you what else makes sense, and that is smelling great. And we all do thanks to Lumi.
Thanks to Lumi. I have had, as I've shared, when I go snowboarding, you know, the pits get stinky. And then I want to go and like hang out and like après ski at the old bar. And I can't be all stinky. So
I'm
just
sitting there waiting, hot toddies in hand.
Wipes right over and
those are great.
Bye-bye. It does not cover it up.
Yeah.
They're acidified
it's a scientific
wipes that
magic.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's chemistry. We don't understand it, nor do we want to.
But I do know that it was created by a woman who knows a lot about vaginas.
Right. Yeah, she sorted it out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to just go on your armpits. It could go on your vagina if that's stinking up the joint.
Yep.
Or your butt
Sticking up
crack.
the joint.
Whatever stinks. Your feet, I don't know. I don't know your body, but you do. And you know, boy, I could really use some of that cream or that bar or that soap.
You got
or those
kids,
wipes.
use it on those little kids. Those boys, they smell stinky. Get those feet
Well,
wiped off.
and that's what I mean. It comes in a bunch of scents and it comes in a bunch of forms. So if you don't like cream, you like the bar, you like the wipes, you like the soap, whatever you like, they got it.
They got it.
Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. They have the mini body wash, for example, the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code BrainCandy15 for 15% off your first purchase at lumedeodorant.com. That's code
great deal.
BrainCandy15 at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi.
Yes. I love the lavender.
Alrighty. Moving on. Okay, this is so disturbing. I'm sorry, but I have to talk about it because it's like I need like Sarah therapist to sort it out.
I'm here for you. What you got?
Did you read about how we had the first death penalty execution via firing squad the other day?
Oh my God.
Proper.
Nope. Hate
Firing
this.
squad.
Hate everything about this.
Can you believe?
That's fucked up for the people who have to do it.
Barbaric.
Absolutely barbaric. We're moving back. What is happening?
Okay, here's what happened. And it's not as bad as you think in a way because I think it was, let me see if it's South Carolina or North Carolina. It was South Carolina. The person on death row got to choose the means.
Oh, no.
And because they have been botching all of their lethal injections, and these people have been suffering in misery.
God. That's a better way to go out in their mind.
Yes. That was the way
God.
that he felt would be more efficient.
More efficient, right. That's so, oh my God.
I'm sorry.
This is all fucked up.
Because it is totally fucked up, but I do want to paint the picture because I think it's important, whether you're pro or anti death penalty, I think it's important to know what we have going on in 2025 in the United States of America. Okay. Death by firing squad involves the following.
Oh, God.
A man who is going to be dead sits in a metal chair, and there's like a basin beneath the chair to catch like whatever the hell comes out of his body. Mm-hmm. He wears a hood.
Oh, it's already
so he
degrading
can't see.
That's awful.
And then on his chest is a target, so they hit his heart.
That is, it's the people who are doing the fire, like...
The barbarism.
Oh, my God. This is...
It's astonishing.
It really is. What is
They
this, the
have
frickin' 1800s?
3 correction officer volunteers.
Okay.
So people that work for the correctional facility volunteer, which I guess is great because you don't want to traumatize somebody and you want somebody who's qualified or whatever.
I just think it's fucked up that people volunteer to do this.
And they are 15 feet away. There's sort of like a half wall and then like kind of like a window. And they all stand behind the wall and are shooting through the window. And
how much of the actual human they see.
Yeah, and like that, the people that are there to witness it, journalists and family or whoever is choosing to be there, which I cannot imagine being there, they can't see who's doing it.
Okay.
And then, I don't know if there's a GD countdown or what.
Oh, Jesus.
But then they fire away. And they shoot him and he's dead. And this man was convicted of murdering his girlfriend's parents.
Jesus.
And they did the old, like, last meal. He had the fried chicken. And then they did last words. The person before him that was killed by firing squad, his last words were famously, "Let's do it," or something like that. Like, it was sort of like blasé. His last words, however, were a pleading and admonition to Christians to abolish death penalty. And he said the eye for an eye, biblical principle that a lot of people rely upon to justify it, what is Old Testament. Of course, we do not practice pretty much any of the other Old Testament tenets because most Christians see it as a New Testament world in which it's more, the Christianity that you understand it to be. Yeah. And so he's like, why are we still acting like this is sort of acceptable behavior? Anywho, it's just unbelievable to me that this is happening and that it's still an option and that you're so fucking bad at like euthanizing people.
Right.
That people would rather be shot to death from a firing squad.
Really insane. Where
let's
have
just
we
like
come?
get ninja swords or you know what I mean? Like
what
are we
this?
doing?
What are we doing here? Right. This is, and after we read the book The Sun Still Shines by the man who was on death row for years, like 20 something years, and then was exonerated and acquitted of all charges.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Exonerated? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really made me think about a lot and the system
I can't believe the death penalty is still.
It really seems. I feel like having to be in jail is far more punishment. I don't know. I guess it depends on your belief system, but
I don't even care. Well with me. I don't even care what the best punishment is. This is like not behavior we should sanction.
And I just feel like, how do you go home if you're that person who has to do that? How do you like go home and hug your family at the end of the night?
Okay. Counterpoint, however, like if somebody tortured my son,
I'm murdering him. I'm murdering him for you.
If I'm a victim,
100%, I'm killing him
of violent crime in my family.
Yeah.
I totally get why you want it.
I get it.
And like, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So like those people, I'm like, yeah, sure, I get it. But like as a society, when we're just doing like philosophical sort of ideas on paper, when it's not your family or whatever, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Right. Yeah.
It's wackadoo.
And I'd like to hope that I would have the compassion to be able to like see the person even in that situation. Like,
yeah, he said, he was like, I was a boy. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. He was like 21. He was like a doofus, you know?
Yeah.
And not that like doofuses murder people and like that's fine. But it's sort of like, he's different than he was. He's like, I don't know, people.
And
are you sure?
There's probably a story there too.
There always is.
There always is. It's just pain.
And we call that reasons, not excuses. Right?
Yes. Right. So reasons, it's like, not excuses. Yes.
Reasons, you can't go around killing people.
Right. No.
But there are reasons why these things happen.
Right. Yeah. Very good.
So that is horrific.
Wow. I can't believe that that's happening. And they got to, it's a failing system.
Yeah.
This is more evidence.
All right. Next up, are you?
Yeah, you got anything lighter than the death penalty, sis, or what?
This is not lighter, but well, it is lighter, but it's equally as wild. Which is, the idea of we don't call them this anymore, but like now we call them parasitic twins, but we used to call them Siamese.
Conjoined.
conjoined. Yep, you can call them conjoined. But
Because
conjoined
parasitic
is
is something different.
Yeah, parasitic is
That doesn't
when
develop, and it becomes
it's,
something that, like...
could not live without the other.
Not... Oh. Wait
It cannot live on its own.
Okay.
Conjoined, you could separate, and theoretically,
interesting.
they can live separate lives. Hopefully, depending on where they're conjoined, they have independent identities, independent sources of life.
Wow.
Parasitic twins
they need a new
are
name for
when
that.
you're a person, and then you have this thing attached to you that's alive and feels shit.
Oh my God.
But cannot survive without you. But it's not its own thing. It's like not a person. It's not.
It's not a brain attached to it. It's just.
And there's no head or anything.
How many cases of this do we have?
50 to 60 total in history.
In history. Okay. Well, that still seems like
Rare.
a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for specifying between conjoined and parasitic. Okay. So in India, this kid, he had a parasitic twin. He's a 17-year-old person. Mm-hmm. Inside of his body, in his abdomen, is the parasitic twin with like legs and things that protrude from the abdomen of his host. Buttocks, genitalia, 2 fully formed legs inside of you. And when he walks around, people see this sticking out of him.
Oh, and he can't have it removed?
Well, that's what just happened.
Oh my God.
They just removed the parasitic twin, but it was a very stressful situation.
I can imagine the amount of blood vessels and nerve endings you'd have to tie off for that would be hours and hours, because you have to imagine anything that's getting blood is every single one of those individual like veins, like arteries or whatever the fuck it is, has to be like tied. And,
but you know what's
sealed.
wacky? It only took 2.5 hours, Sarah.
What?
I know, but they did say that. Like, you have to be very careful. You can't touch any of the organs of the host. But they did have to like check all the vessels and the blood and the because that's how the parasitic twin stays alive.
Yeah, and then they like bleed out like that. It's like if you ever had a mole that you like cut open and then it just doesn't stop bleeding for forever.
It's alive, right?
It's like, what is this? I have one on my stomach, and every time I go surfing, like the sand and the wax and everything from the board just rubs that bad boy, like the top of that right off, and I'll get out of the water and it is just pouring blood out of it's just a mole that gets irritated, and when you like open up a mole, they can like bleed like crazy. Ugh. It's really weird.
I hate being human. It's disgusting.
It's really gross.
Okay, so
my mole, not everybody else's things.
They took 2.5 hours to remove the
very
parasitic
speedy,
twin.
because I feel like my surgery took longer.
Yeah, this guy was out of the hospital in 4 days, and he's like living his best life. He's psyched out of his mind.
I bet he is feeling way lighter.
Well, and the thing that made it really difficult was because almost every time they've tried to separate or remove a parasitic twin has been on a baby. Wow. Like, what the hell? Like, okay, maybe he was in a rural part of India,
I can imagine.
He was just walking around with his legs hanging out, protruding from his abdomen.
So I was on a trip with my ex-husband, and he was doing business with somebody who I believe was from China. And this man had a 6th finger on his hand. And this was one of the wealthiest men
Did you notice it on your own?
Oh,
or
yes.
Were you told?
In 2 fucking seconds, I noticed it. And then I said to my ex, you weren't going to tell me about the extra finger on his
You
hand.
weren't going to tell me, Sarah. You've known me all this time.
I've told you this. I've told you this story. It's on the air. I remember because you had the same reaction last time. I definitely have
It's
said
like
this.
50 first dates over here.
Yes. And I remember thinking, like, this guy has all the money. Why wouldn't he get that removed?
So
and so then I just, like, I don't know, started Googling stuff or asking questions.
Yeah?
And there is the belief that any of those extra appendages or whatever are like gifts from God. Like they're,
Okay, well,
they're
maybe
like
that's why he's so
your
successful.
good luck charm kind of thing. And if there's a mole,
Maybe
that's
that's
staying.
what-
If there's an extra finger, it's staying. I think maybe it's cultural.
Maybe that's what my extra butthole is.
Go on.
Do you not know about this? We have to have talked about this.
I know about tears, but extra?
Okay, truth be told, and I know Matt Neroni, my BFF, is laughing right now, but it's not an actual hole and it's not a butthole.
Yeah, I was going to
But
say.
I call it that because it's super funny. But mainly because I didn't know what it was for a really long time. And only recently did I find the technical term for it, which is a sacral dimple.
Oh, is this like at the very, very base of your
How do
butt
you
crack
know about
where
it?
it's
You
kind
had
of
somebody like this?
okay? I can't believe
Have
I'm
you
sharing this
seen
story.
mine?
No, I have not seen yours. But one time,
You were like, I saw it
No,
on your...
I couldn't.
Oh my God.
but one time I went in to get waxed,
Do you have one?
and they did the strip, and there must have been like did like the back there, and there must have been like a clogged pore or a blackhead or something that had been there for like, I don't know. This was years ago. This was like the first or second time I think I ever got waxed, and it was like a pore strip, and it was like.
Wait, do you have an extra butthole?
I mean, I've got like a divot there, but not like
Sarah,
an extra
you
butthole.
have this.
Let me feel, but I'm not
Listen,
gonna feel like
stop saying not a butthole. No, it's not a butthole.
it's just the top of your crack.
Sarah, you have the same thing. We're sacral dimple twins.
I love this, but did yours ever get a blackhead that your waxing person was
No,
like,
but
whoa?
that's a thing, and you could get a cyst. And whenever,
That's kind of what I've been feeling like I've been trying to avoid my whole life by keeping that space like exfoliated. Because ever since my first blackhead incident, I'm like, But then I'm kind of like
Sarah,
obsessed. Like I want to see. Like I
do
never
you
even got to see it.
remember when? In my mom's day, when they would have pads and they had like the belt.
Yes.
Okay, and then in the back of the belt,
Yeah.
it had a like, what do you call that? Like a button,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it attached, a clasp.
Yeah.
And that clasp hits exactly where a sacral dimple
Ow.
is. And these women that had this would develop what they called piloidal cysts
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
from irritation. And so, like, my mom, who I clearly got it from, thanks,
Right.
Peg,
Right.
would get these things.
Wow,
and it was like an
okay.
irritant and awful. And there was no freaking tampons or anything back then. Okay. So you're
thank
a
you for
sacral
explaining
sister?
what that was, because I've been wondering ever since I was about 17 or 18 what the heck that and the worst was that they like did it, which I imagined looked like a Biore pore strip, and I didn't even get to see it. So the mystery, because it was like at a school where they were like doing
cannot
like learning how to
believe-
learn wax, and the woman like called over her instructor and was like, something just popped out of there, and
That's
she's like, oh yeah,
awful.
that happened. That's fine. That's just like, and I wanted to know.
Sarah,
I wanted to see.
They should have said, you have an extra butthole.
They should have. I'm so glad they did.
This is crazy.
Imagine
Episode
that.
899, people. I'm telling you. Listen, here's the actual definition. It is a small indentation or pit in the skin located at the top of the buttocks, just above the crease. The exact cause is unknown, but they're thought to be a result of incomplete closure of the neural tube during fetal
Jesus
development.
Christ.
So we are like incomplete
Basically. It's
babies.
not big. It's so small.
It is. I used to call it my
so
pinhole.
Tiny. That's what it's like.
It's a pinhole.
Yes.
But it's big enough where if somebody's raw dogging you back there,
Oh, mine is not big enough for that.
No, for real. No. I'm saying if they're doing doggy style, right? They're going to be like, huh, what's that? It's big enough for that
to
thought.
see it. Yeah, okay.
But if
I'm gonna
you
have to
didn't
investigate.
know, I didn't know I had anything.
Right.
I thought I was just a regular lady.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked me, what is going on here? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, my God. We need
That's how I had to find out.
well,
I'd rather have the Biore.
Poor strip on my ass. I'm gonna have to get in front of the mirror tonight and do some investigating.
It's pretty rare.
I'll
It's
let you
like
know. Don't worry.
only like, let me see what the percentage is. It's like 5% of the population.
What? Okay.
It's rare. 2 to 4% of newborns. We are special. That's what we are.
Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just a little.
Oh my God.
Bump.
What if you don't and then I've gotten all vulnerable?
Well,
You don't
Susie,
even
I'm
have
the one
it.
who's talking about.
You just had like an actual blackhead.
It could be that. Could like just right on that spot though, and a pinhole is the accurate description for it.
That's what I called it, my pinhole.
That's very. We've shared
But it's not a
so
hole.
much this episode. It's not. They know about our clitoris and our second beeholes.
Sarah, do you feel like while I do this caraway spot that you should go look or what?
Do you want me to go look?
Kind of.
Okay, I'll go
Like,
look.
just make sure that's what it is.
Okay, I'll go look.
Okay.
BRB.
All right. Sarah's going to go look at something. But in the meantime, don't skip ahead, okay? It's rude. And it's just like what's keeping the lights on over here is our partnership with people like Caraway. And I'm obsessed with them because I don't want microplastic garbage in my house. You all know, what did they just tell us? In our brain is like a freaking teaspoon of disgusting microplastics. I don't want that. If you get Caraway, it is a non-issue. This is non-toxic. This is the real deal. This is stuff that you want in your home and you can trust. And it's sustainable, non-toxic materials. And more than that, they are freaking amazing because it's still non-stick somehow. So when you do baked goods and all that, they're still coming out, not sticking to the pan. Same with eggs in the saute pans. I actually like the stainless steel best of all, which I'm shocked by, but that is my favorite. Anyway, I have everything. They have beautiful colors. You can pick your color. We did the math. There's no better time to make the healthy swap to Caraway. Our favorite cookware set will save you $150 versus the items buying them individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/braincandy, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. The deal is exclusive for our listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/braincandy or use code braincandy at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. Well, Sarah,
Man,
what did you find out?
when my girlfriend asked me how work went today, I am going to have to lie. Because how do I explain the things that I do? I just walked downstairs, was like unbuttoning my pants,
Bending over,
just spreading the cheeks, checking out what I got going. I would describe it as if you were somebody who got maybe like a blackhead on your face that was like one of those big like pockmark kind of things.
Yeah.
And then it like healed and you were left with a little bit of a hole.
Uh-huh.
That might be what it would look like.
And so are you confirming you do have what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm giving
You're
you the
not
description
denying it, right?
of what I got going on.
I can't believe we're sacral sisters.
That is, now there's a tattoo.
A little, we'll just do like a little dot.
Yeah. Just a little pinhole butthole. Still your number one podcast for number two stories, ladies and gentlemen.
10 years counting.
Show me somebody better.
I'm actually really glad though, because besides my mom, I've never known anyone with one. Because like, well, how do you find out? the only way you'd find out is doing what I do, where I'm like, do you have a second butthole? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? But it's not a butthole.
It's so
I can't emphasize
not noticeable.
that enough.
Like, it wouldn't be noticeable, though, if somebody were behind me. Like,
Yeah, huh?
you think so?
It would be noticeable. It's not, it's just sort of like, huh.
Okay.
Like
I
a
can see that.
dimple.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I got it.
So we have dimple
Man.
butts, and like what we're going to say about them is they're like super cute.
So cute.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Hey, I've had no complaints.
I have had no complaints. I have had inquiries.
I've had no inquiries, but
I'm
also
going to show you mine next time I'm with you, and you can say whether it's bigger than yours or
yes,
something.
I would love to see.
I'll probably take a picture like later.
This is
because I want to know. I'll put like
what are
a
friends
dime.
for if not this? Yeah, give me something to like the
Next to- like
size reference.
scale.
Yes, for scale.
Well, because
This is
listen,
important.
It's not my fault. I don't know.
No, listen, we for anybody who gave a shit about not knowing what a scrotum was, we don't even know about our own bodies. We're learning
Did
about the
anyone
glands.
give you shit about it?
No, just you or us.
Okay,
Just
because Steve Agee,
Yeah.
like fancy Steve Agee, he was like roasting me in my DMs, and I was like, but I don't know. It's not clear. That's all.
not clear. I get it.
Okay. What do I want to say next? Do we want what tone do you want? Like, what vibe are you looking for?
Well, I mean, we've really been all over the map here. We've had.
That's what I want to know. Like, do you want funny, dark?
Give me
Science.
Give me funny. Okay, stick with the funny. I'm in a silly mood today.
Let me see.
What silly stuff you got for me?
Okay, hold on. Boy, I must have been in a dark mood all these
Oh,
times.
okay. Then give me something dark.
No, wait,
What
no,
else?
I'll find something.
We'll make
Like, something funny.
I don't know, lemonade out of lemons.
Hold on. Boy, I really have to scroll down. I don't have the only thing even lighthearted is a Lego shipwreck.
Oh, I saw that story.
It's cute as hell,
It's
isn't
cute
it?
if you're okay with littering and plastic and microplastics.
All right, let's skip that. Let's skip
no,
that.
leave it. That's a good one. I read about that. I think that's a really interesting story because I have one of the things that's interesting that's happening from that story is a lot of those Lego pieces are becoming very rare and valuable and collectible. And people are like now hunting. I want to say it's off the coast of England.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so it is kind of depressing. In 1997, there was a shipwreck, and it was a ship that was transporting Lego. So 5 million Lego pieces fell in. It was a
That
ship
actually
from,
seems like not a lot of Lego pieces. If you think about
Yeah.
how much is usually on a cargo ship.
yeah, it's like one, like $400
That's
box.
Yeah, right? That's like one 5-year-old's collection.
Totally. One, what is that? In Star
Like
Wars?
Star Wars Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the one.
I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah. Okay. It was going from New York to Netherlands, and it nearly capsized, but it lost 62 of its shipping containers in an event known as the Great Lego Spill. And after the spill, somebody created a Facebook page for it. And that is what began sort of the tracking of
Yeah.
and mapping of where these little pieces and toys turned up.
It almost feels like we can use this for science and to really look at currents and where things end up. And there's some info to be gathered here, right?
True. Yeah, because they have turned up all over the world. The English coast, Wales, France, Belgium,
Wow.
Ireland, Netherlands. And they're assuming all of the world. But like if you found a piece, let's say you're in frickin' China, you're
Right.
probably not going to be like, let me go on Facebook and see if there was a shipwreck.
No.
So like there was probably remnants all over the globe. And yeah, so like they figured out what were in the containers, what pieces and sets. And so there are like more rare pieces and like ones that like people are
I just have the image of like this black dragon that
yeah, I think
it's
there
like
was
the coveted
that
piece. There's like it's like a medieval kind of theme that went shipwrecked, which is
that's right.
Also kind of interesting and funny.
Yeah, the black dragon. There was 33,427 black dragons.
Whoa, not that rare. Everywhere.
Well, I mean, but most of them are probably on the sea
or like broken.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah. I am a big fan of Lego right now. They are making big efforts to make, because they recognize that they're all plastic. And they're like, we want to be doing good. So they have worked really hard to create recyclable materials, which is hard to do with that plastic. They had to like reinvent a whole new material to get that signature click that happens when you like put it on there. But they say that they will be using all sustainable emission or materials by 2032 and reach net zero emissions by 2050, which is good when you are like the leading plastic toy company. And then hopefully like a toy like Lego develops a kind of plastic that's recyclable or reusable. And then because it's so big and has to manufacture so much of it, it then gets, passed around and this becomes the standard.
Damn.
So,
I mean, that's great. I don't know how they're doing that because it's a lot of plastic.
I think they recognized like we got to.
It doesn't really, I can't imagine too much percentage wise ends up in landfills though, because tell you what, that stuff, if you go on Craigslist or wherever and buy Lego, it's sold by the pound.
Yeah.
And it maintains its value because the pieces are uniform,
Crazy. It really is interesting that it does.
And my friend has a friend who buys the sets and then sells the pieces individually on eBay because like someone will lose like some piece.
Yes, I get that.
And they just like want that and they'll pay $1 for it. But I mean, the set has hundreds of pieces in it.
Right. That's a good deal. That is a good business. Right.
It does always feel like there's a piece missing.
Always. Yeah.
When I'm putting them together. Maybe 3 years ago, Lincoln said the only way he'd have a happy Christmas is if I got him this, or Santa got him this.
The old guilt trip.
Ferrari, I think it was, like one of those car ones, super big, super expensive.
Oh, yeah?
And Adam was like, are you out of your mind? And I'm like, oh, we gonna do it.
Yeah. And then what?
Well, then I did it.
And
then he was psyched out of his mind.
Oh, good.
And it is still new in box.
Okay.
Because he admits he does not want to put it together. He just wants the complete piece.
Oh, well, next time Aunt Sarah comes over, guess what's on the to-do list? Oh, yes.
Sarah, how long do you think it would take you?
How many pieces are we talking?
A gazillion. Like, it's the car
the
when it's done is that big.
Shipwreck.
And I think it works maybe. Like, the car might work.
I'd say I could bang it out over the course of 2 days.
Holy shit. Well, we were going to pay somebody on Fiverr.
Oh, no. I got you. When I come out there, I'll do it. I'll pay you to do that. That's how much I like doing that kind of shit. Build stuff.
At this point, though, I'm like, should we just keep it new and boxed in like 10 years, 20 years?
It's going to be real valuable.
Maybe.
Right. Maybe.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Okay. This is stupid, and I just love it because it's so stupid. Okay. So you may have seen in the New York Times, there was some huge incident at a Hamptons elementary school. So like the ritzy Hamptons area.
Oh, I see. The Hamptons as in the place outside of New York. Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a brand of elementary school? What the fuck? Okay, no. The Hamptons as in the place.
In the Hamptons, there is a principal who is accused of stealing a $25 Amazon gift card from the mailroom at the elementary school in December of 2023. And they had a disciplinary trial with 1,400 pages of testimony, more than 12 witnesses, 38 security cameras. Fees for the arbitrator overseeing the hearing have exceeded $24,800.
Oh my God.
For a real.
For $25.
For a $25 gift card in the Hamptons.
This is insane.
It's
So he did do it.
insane.
And they have all, and what?
It's
this
a lady. It's a lady principal. And here's what happened according to testimony.
Oh my God.
Okay. A parent had reportedly brought a gift card for an occupational therapist at the school and another one for Cassie Butts, the school receptionist. Butts had allegedly placed the other card for the occupational therapist in the occupational therapist's mailbox. But it was later not found. So that occupational therapist never got it.
Okay.
Now, surveillance footage allegedly showed Butts entering the school with a red envelope, then leaving empty-handed 7 seconds later. So they see her dropping it off.
Okay.
And then the camera caught the principal entering and leaving the mailroom minutes later with a pile of papers, including a red envelope that she said was a different one.
Oh, it was the same one. Why are we doing this? Was this like a simple mistake that
so
then
much.
got?
No, I think the principal stole it
and now just doesn't.
and then
want to
doubled
admit it.
down.
Oh no! And now
Yeah.
can't get out of it.
Yeah, and then it became like a whole thing, and she's going to lose her job over this. Like
She
Kinda
should have
like-
just said, "Oh yeah, I grabbed it."
I think if she could go back in time, she would probably just be like, you know
Oh,
what,
my
I
God.
did. I was pissed.
I have like secondary. I
But
don't know.
like they
remorse
spent
or something. Like,
$25,000
what a waste
on this stupid ass thing when these children.
on principle, but that pun intended.
I love it. And I love that the New York Times has written about it and other outlets
Oh,
have written
my
about it. It's like
God.
tearing this town apart.
I feel I know she did it, but I
Okay,
kinda
but
feel
what if
bad
she
for this
didn't?
lady. Right? What if she didn't?
That's the thought that scares me is like, what if, because what happened was she was like, no, that was a $50 gift card that these other people gave me. And she like then brought in like the empty envelope to be like, here it is. Like, this is what it was. And they were like, well, we don't know. It doesn't say on there.
Well, then she should innocent until proven guilty.
I mean, they should drop it and
For-
be like, well,
for
there's
sure
no way
they
to
should.
know.
Why does this matter that much?
I love it. I love petty nonsense. This
And
should
you
be
know
a
what?
reality
She
show.
should get more than she's a principal of a school, has to deal with those bullshit parents. Give her.
Right? They should all get gift cards.
Yeah, they should. All teachers. You get a gift card. You get a gift card. You get a gift card.
I love it though. I gotta tell you, Sarah.
Wow.
I love stupid
People
shit.
have too much time in the Hamptons.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't at all.
Okay. How about how Popular Science did an article about how they are curing blindness by putting, I swear to you, teeth in people's eyeballs.
What are you saying? This is like a nightmare I've had before, where like you're, or
For
you know those like, would you rather
Right.
have teeth
eyeball
for
for
eyeballs or eyeballs for teeth? Think about seeing, think about chewing. What do you want to do? This is that.
That's hilarious and totally true. Okay. Okay. So, like when I saw the headline on Instagram on the Popular Science account, I wanted to just put it in my story and be like, they did what now? What? You did what now?
Come again?
Okay, here's how this goes.
Oh, God. That's
I still don't really understand it. It's called osteoodontokeratoprothesis, also known as tooth and eye surgery. And it involves harvesting the body's strongest natural substance to become a specialized lens implant for patients with severe corneal blindness.
Well,
and it's specifically for like conjunctival scarring. So like you can't use it if you have optic or like
it's
nerves.
like the nerve stuff. It's just what's happening to the cornea. The
but like
actual eyeball.
if you have like one of those reactions to like a chemical, something that's more superficial.
I have a friend who maybe she would be, I don't know, who lost her eye just this year running in a marathon and getting hit with a rogue golf ball.
Oh, no.
Yes. Massive trauma to her eyeball, lost her eye. What? Just on a run, signed up. I'm going to do the 10K.
Does she remember it happening?
Yeah.
What does she say it was
I
like?
don't know. I haven't talked to her.
If you need to find out because I want to know what that is like. Because I'm sure it's like head trauma.
Yeah.
You know?
She's a really good, she's been a trooper about it.
Like you don't realize probably in that moment.
Right. She didn't.
It's your eyeball. You just think you've been hit in the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can't see it properly. And then they have to go in there and get that thing out.
Yep. And they fitted her with a artificial eye that looks amazing.
Oh, good.
And moves with her other eye.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
she can't see out of that. She's got to learn a little bit of probably a.
But she looks great, and frankly, that's all I care about.
Yeah, looks like you couldn't even tell. I was like, wow, that looks amazing. I sent her that message.
Because I'm sure it does make a big difference in her quality of life if people aren't gawking.
Right.
Yeah.
And they hand painted to make it perfectly match the other one. It's really cool looking.
Great. Wow. Okay. But I'm sorry that happened to her.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, who knew that you got to be looking out for that? You're just like, could you imagine?
No.
You're on doing a little run for charity with your friends and boom.
Oh my God. It was just like a for fun run.
Yes. She's in a run club.
Sometimes I wish that type of stuff would happen to people on turkey trots, but I'll let that go. Okay. The reason that this is like a thing is because if you use part of the body of the person, then you lower the risk of rejection of whatever you're going to put in there. And so in this case, here's how it works. It's wild. Surgeons extract a tooth, usually a canine, which in my case probably could help more than just one person because mine are so big. And then they shave it down to form a rectangular layer called a longitudinal lamina. And it has a hole drilled in the center. And then they temporarily sew it into the side of a patient's cheek.
I could imagine this.
So it remains there for a few months. So new tissue grows around it.
And your body recognizes it. And yeah.
And then they remove the scar tissue from the patient's eye. They replace it with healthy tissue, which is also harvested from that cheek. And then in the final procedure, doctors sew the implant into the eye socket under the cheek tissue transplant where the lens helps partially restore sight. And it's pretty freaking awesome. A lot of patients have tremendous success decades and decades later, even allowing them to drive cars and things like that. Yeah.
And what is crazy to me is how we got here. This wasn't just like a eureka came to me in a flash kind of moment. This feels like there was some guessing and checking.
Yeah.
How do we know?
Because, like, how do you come up with that idea?
Right, that's what I'm saying. How do you come up
Totally.
with that? Or there had to have been, like, some weird case where somebody had, like, teeth. You know, I'm thinking, like, that parasitic twin that were, like, floating around somewhere. And
Well, because
like,
the teeth are,
weird like that.
like, usually weird. Like,
Yeah.
there's some weird shit that goes on with teeth.
Yeah. Or, like, you
Remember
get a
how
second
Lincoln
set
had
or
a
something.
33rd tooth?
He got
Lincoln
that bad boy
had-
pulled, right?
Yeah, when he was getting his baby teeth,
That's right.
They were all coming in, and then he had like 2 front teeth, and then he had this one start sprouting from his gums in between his 2 front teeth. We were like, what the devil is that? We took him into the dentist, and she was like, oh, they have like a name for it,
I'm
but
sure.
it's basically like phantom fucking tooth. And so they have to remove it. They had to have surgery to get that guy out.
Jeez.
It's wild, man.
is. The mouth
and like,
is
where did
weird.
that come from?
Where did it? It grew all on its own. Like, your body was just like, one more, please.
Do you ever see when those babies are born with
Yes.
full sets?
Yes, that is weird. That, could you imagine nursing that thing? When you got somebody
That-
chewing on that udder?
Is nightmare fuel
Nightmare fuel.
on that udder.
Gross. I mean, it's a magical moment, whatever.
Seriously. They are scary, those things.
God.
And it's often like a full set.
Yeah.
It's like they came
This feels
in
like
utero.
Dwight Schrute, all of this. Parasitic twin,
totally.
like born with a full set of teeth.
Yes. Well, remember I told you I had a family friend, who was born, she was a conjoined twin in utero, and that twin died. And then when she was born, they had to remove the body because her dad was in Vietnam and was a victim of the Agent Orange spray.
Oh, I forgot that part.
Like, the government doesn't like acknowledge. I don't think they
Right.
offer anything for these people, but they ought to, because
They
it was
definitely
real.
ought to. Yeah.
And like, you can see on her buttocks there is the scar from removal.
Wow.
I mean, that is something,
It really is.
and I'm sure it affects you as you go about your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, being a person is wild. Being like, everything about the human body is insane.
And we're still learning about it to this day.
Part of the reason I'm wearing this turtleneck, I put on a different shirt initially, is because my chest is always rashed
got your rash
now
back?
because I think the rupture.
Oh, it's definitely that. Suze,
There's like a rash
we should have put that together.
Well, at that time, Sarah, when I was having you investigate, it was mostly on my back. There was some on the front, but it
you
was...
had other things on your chest before. Remember they said you were like perimenopausal because you were getting a rash there at night? I think that's also connected to that. I mean, you're probably that too, but like I can't imagine that would be
the Grover's. That was Grover's
Yeah.
syndrome. They said
Yeah.
it was, but maybe not. Maybe it was just from the autoimmune.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's like an autoimmune response to the implant.
Yeah. So like all up here is always like rashed almost all the time now.
Yeah, like you
So
have
hopefully-
Grover's disease, but I think it might be a result of an autoimmune, thing with
Yeah.
the implants.
Right. The human body is just like
Fucking weird.
always something. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. We love you so much. Please leave us a 5-star review and check out our codes on our website. It keeps the lights on over here. Or our Patreon, which is patreon.com/braincandy, which is all of our reality TV and challenge content.
All the fun.
We love you. Bye everybody.
Are you ready to unlock your creativity and transform your passion for beauty into a career? Southeastern College is here to help you take your first steps towards training for a career in cosmetology, unlock your potential, and start your path towards a career making people feel confident. It's time to invest in yourself. Visit sec.edu for more information on our programs and take the first step toward training for a brand new career in cosmetology. Your before and after story starts now at Southeastern College.